I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it. How you doing, YouTube? It's been a while since I've said that. Welcome to Massive Beers. We're doing an unboxing because we got a box of beer, but we also kind of went out and about in the beer world today. Not gonna lie to you, it's been a very, very long time since I've kind of brewery hopped. It's been like years. With life, priorities, family, all that fun stuff. Not that I don't want to do those things, it's just I prefer to do other things, and it's been a while since I've kind of went to a couple different breweries on an individual day. But a Ty, friend of the channel, viewer of the channel, we chatted back and forth about beers for quite some time, and he was like, "Man, I kind of want to go to Warwick Brewing. It's kind of close to you. Maybe we can hook up and all that stuff." And lo and behold, we decided to hatch a plan. The plan was basically me and him kind of go to Warwick Brewing in Warwick, Pennsylvania. Brewery I've reviewed previously, but it's been several years since I've done so because I hadn't got a chance to get down there. They don't really do any kind of distribution, and just kind of go from there. Figure out a couple of spots we wanted to hit along the way. Conclave being like kind of like the end game of that because I'm a big fan of Conclave. You watch the channel, yada yada yada. So, as everything kind of irks closer to today, I realized, wait a minute, my buddy Joe from the old NAPA beer reviews, is now a brewer and currently working at Levante Brewing in PA. I'm like, I don't think he lives super far away from Warwick. Kind of tied him into the journey. He said, "Hell yeah, I'll meet you at Warwick." So we're on. So the plan was to go to Warwick Brewing, a place called Second Sin. They just opened a kind of like satellite tap room not far away from Warwick, and then go to Conclave and call it a day. Best laid plans. And we ended up doing a whole bunch of other stuff along the way. So there you go. But first and foremost, we're going to do this unboxing courtesy of Steven. Steven, longtime beer mailer, friend of the channel, friend in general. Like, Steven is someone I've met, hung out with several times at IRL in real life, and he sent off a box of beer. So I'm kind of excited. This actually landed today, was out and about doing stuff. So let's dive into this sucker. And then we'll kind of recap today as we go along and show you what I picked up at various places. So no idea what's in this box. No idea this box is coming. Just know it landed. I shouldn't say I didn't not know it was coming. It's not like Steven told me it was coming, but I have all the alerts for all the mails, whether it be USPS or FedEx and all that stuff. And I saw a box of mail coming from Willimantic. That's where Steven lives. So if someone's sending me something from Willimantic and it's not Steven, I don't know who it is. So little tip of the cap there. So we'll see what's what. Typically, some bangers, maybe a couple mystery beers. We'll see what's what. So let's dive in this sucker. See what's what. We got a little bit of old school styrofoam. Save the planet. We'll see what's what. But it's going to be a little bit longer of a video, so buckle up because I got a little bit of stuff there. Anyway, let's do one of those. Cut to the chase, literally and figuratively. First up, we have Fat Orange Cat. Okay, I dig me some Fat Orange Cat. This is their stay-at-home dads with no kids. This be a get away from me adhesive. 5.9% alcohol by volume, New England style India Pale Ale. Look at that. I do like their art design, honestly. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a Fat Orange Cat kind of like it's my favorite art in the world, but something about it kind of tickles me pink. So, yes, we're off to a good start. I think we're going to need a wider berth for today's unboxing. Oh, we see. This is their Saturnalia. Is this a 10.2? What is this? Is this barley wine? Saturnalia is an interpretation of Trappist style quad. It is brewed using authentic Belgian Pilsner, pale malt, specialty in Cara malts. It is hopped with Royal and Styrian, Golding in a boil and balance of a massive malt body. Finally, the beer undergoes a warm fermentation using classic Belgian Trappist yeast strain. Didn't say anything about candied sugar in that sucker, but I am a unapologetic OEC. What's the word? Fanboy? We can go fanboy. So I am super excited. Thank you very much, David. You are outdoing yourself per usual. Next up, we have Alvarium. This is their green out New England style hazy. That's a really cool label. I do like that quite a bit. Alvarium, we've done our fair share of reviews have come almost exclusively via Steven. I'm not going to read. There's huge story time in here, but the specifics is it's a Strata and Idaho 7 hopped New England style hazy at 8% alcohol by volume. I really do dig that label. Something about it reminds me of like BioShock or something like that. So, yeah. Anyway, I dig it. Melts. Another Alvarium, 4.1%. This is a crushable rice lager. So, crunchy roll. You can see there is a nice kind of sushi stack up in that piece of a rice lager that comes in at a 4.1% alcohol by volume, and it is a come on down for a pint and a crisp high five. Done and done. Rice lager. Come on now. We're fans. We're fans. And then we're down to the last packet here. Let's see what this sucker has. Oh, yes. Mystery beers. I love me mystery beers. This one is actually quite fantastic because it is classic Steven stylings in the fact that there's underneath here, there's like wrapping paper, and not by wrapping paper, I mean like newspaper, like an advert for a grocery store. I think he's covered this in plastic because I'm horrible with my beers and sometimes moisture gets on them and I can't, that sloughs off and it sucks for the whole mystery beer portion of the show. So I appreciate the love. But then again, we have this one that has none of that going on. Just some random guy looking down in a hole. It's like he's like on a roof or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. So it's from March 28th, 2024. And I don't know what this guy's, but it's upside down if you actually do it that way. So, Steven, look at this. Thanks very much, brother. I'm very appreciative of this beer mail. Everything in here, mystery beers, I don't get to do them as much anymore, but I appreciate the love on the mystery beer status. Getting some Alvarium, which I dig. So you got a rice lager and a hazy. We're covering a lot of bases here as far as beer goes. Fat Orange Cat, a little hazy. OEC Sun. Belgian hopeful goodness. I'm a lucky man. So thank you very much, Stephen, for sending this off. We're going to move on to today's trip. So like I said, we went to Warwick Brewing. I guess that means we should cover Warwick Brewing first. It was a really nice time we went down there. The funny part about it was, if you're a viewer of the channel, you might know George. And by George, I mean Massive Troll Reviews. Every now and then, George will eke out of his little cubby, his little den, and provide a troll review that I post on my channel where he basically just chugs hard to get beer. George is one of my closest friends, and he is now in super wanderlust mode in that he is traveling like a maniac. And last night, I was thinking, I was like, maybe he'd want to join me on this trip. I mean, we live decently far away from each other now, like over an hour. But then I went online and I looked on Facebook, and he's like, I'm going to Treehouse tomorrow. It's like, cool. Okay, he's going to Treehouse. I'll go do my thing. I won't kind of try to steer him towards my direction. I go to Warwick Brewing. Granted, Warwick Brewing, 2 hours away from northeastern Pennsylvania, where he lives, an hour and a half away from where I live. He's going to Treehouse. I go to bring. I literally order some, drink a couple beers, hang out, chat with Ryan, the owner and brewer there. Super good dude, treated us absolutely fantastically. Go and order food, come back in, sit down, drink a beer, look over. Here's George walking towards me randomly. I mean, I know he's in the beer, I'm in the beer, but still, just that was really, really weird. So it was bumped into each other. So we hung out. We had a couple beers, hung out, did all that fun stuff. So it was a really bizarro day to begin with because there was all kinds of stuff going on. But what did we get from Warwick Brewing? What you probably can't hear me because I'm speaking down here. Decided to basically split some 4-packs with Ty. So we're going to go over those real quick. First up, we have their Goza. It's a German sour ale with raspberries. Not a huge Goza guy, not a huge raspberry guy. I told Ty, just pick out whatever you want and I'll split it with you. But this Citra Sensation Hazy IPA, it looks pretty good, 6.5%. I can get down with that. Then we had this other 4-pack here of a Hopcatcher IPA in Super Sessions. Not gonna lie to you, I had Super Sessions while I was there. Spoiler alert, I think the review is going to be favorable. Now these are kind of like beers I've seen from Warwick Brewing. I haven't had it. It's their DDH Electric Countach. Gotta love that. Get a little I mean, Countach is an 80s thing, but when I think of Countach in today's world, I think of Always Sunny. And then we have the Dry Hop Hazy IPA Experimental. It's the Pharmacist, 6.6%. So the one cool thing about Warwick Brewing, more than one cool thing, but one of the cooler things is that they had a lot of different styles on, and they had a lot of different, or should I say, they had a lot of lower ABV offerings, whether it be shandies to lagers. They had like 4 different lagers on, I think. I think they had 2 or 3 different hazy IPA / pale ales at like 5.5% or less. So that's my kind of jam. So that, get away from the bubble wrap. So that's that. And then we have, which I would say might be their most well-known beer, which is their Umbra. And then Hype Junior, which is another session kind of ripper. Not gonna lie to you, spoiler alert, might be a favorable review on that sucker there. So that was our trip to Warwick Brewing. Had a good time. Ate some good food. There was a really great little food truck there. I had a little burger, little fries, all that kind of fun stuff. Hung out. We decided to take off and go to Secondton. Before we left, though, we did a little bit of beer exchange. More specifically, Joe from Levante Brewing and me and Ty kind of like, we brought some beers from each other and stuff like that. We wanted to get it away. So let's cover that. This is what Joe ended up giving me because he works at Levante Brewing. We have a Levante Brewing Cartel Collection. We have a Czech style lager. We have their Mexican style lager. I believe I reviewed this. The bonus, or I guess I'd say the good part of all this is that, you know, my little not digs, but qualms with breweries that don't date their cans. Levante is one of them. But these come directly from the source, so they're fresh. The Chief IPA. I don't see anything about that in there. Pickpocket size DDH Session IPA. Oh, yeah, son. 5.3%. And a bunch of you might have seen a bunch of Levante reviews from a lot of beer tubers, specifically post Beer Tube Palooza, the last one we had, because Joe comes to every one of them, and he brought a bunch of Levante up, and I know a bunch of the guys brought them back and ended up reviewing them, which is epically cool. Hop Cartel Double IPA. Cloudy and Cumbersome Pineapple. Cloudy and Cumbersome is kind of like, I call it like their flagship beer. It seems like the beer that they kind of sell the most of. And then last but not least, we have, let's see, Stick Shift Minivan. Okay. No Boil Tangerine IPA. I'm going to put that one in the end there. So there you go. So that is Warwick A little bit of Warwick over there. No, Stephen, Joe, we got more to go, man. We're gonna obscure this facha because there's way too much more to go. This is the Thai version or Thai portion of the show here, as far as the hall goes. Evergreen, Poor Man's, a lot of stuff. He lives out by Reading, Pennsylvania. So the first one up is Clear the Passage, double IPA from Evergreen. He's a big Evergreen fan. I get Evergreen beers out by me, and I bitch and moan about them. Not dating their cans, but even when I think their beers might be a little bit older, they're still really good. So take that for what it's worth. We have the whole enchilada triple IPA. I'm not a big triple IPA person, so we're going to have to take that with the grains of salt that things tend to be grained with. This one I'm actually really hyped about because Ty was very, very enthusiastic about this beer. It's their Chroma Chasm double IPA. It's a cool iridescent like can. Thumbs up on the can design. And he told me about this. I guess it was released maybe 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "This is one of my favorite jams from them." He's like, "I'm definitely gonna have to bring some for you." So let's just throw that there. And then actually all the rest of the stuff he brought me was from Poor Man's Brewing. Yeah, lagers. Mosaic Top Lager. I'm going to move these. I'm just going to throw them up here because there's just four and it makes sense in my brain. This is House Lager Palamatavi. It's their House Lager. They're in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. Perspective Pilsner very much looks like Pilsner or Kel influence. And then they have an India Pale Ale. It just says India Pale Ale, Poor Man's Brewing, IPA. Kind of looks like Oscar the Grouch, but in hop form on that sucker. So, I mean, can you see me? That's where we're at right now. Yeah, so we're not home yet, but we're very, very close. Let's put these down here. I don't know where I'm gonna put these in my fridge, but I guess we're just gonna figure it out. Yeah. Anyway, go to comments real quick, just because we have them. AP Tech says, "Hey, Massive, love your content. You're a big reason why I got in the craft beer. Very cool. Thank you very much. Thank you also from PA. Actually, 5 minutes from Shawnee Craft, which you have reviewed and said you'd visit. Dude, I don't live far away from you. If you ever want to grab a beer, man, let me know. I live in Hope, New Jersey. So I'm probably about 15, 20 minutes away from Shawnee Craft. So if you ever want to rip a beer, let me know. Reach out, matt@massivebeers.com or massivebeers@gmail.com or social media, all that stuff. So I appreciate you reaching out, brother. Very, very cool. And then Rod J chiming in and saying, "Cheers, Matt." Wow, that is a lot of beers. LOL. Yes, it is. I got a Rod J deal on it too, Rod J. So we go to Second Sin Brewing. Okay. We go there. I have two beers. Ty comes, George, and he was with Harry. They all come. We ripped a couple lagers. I know I had like they called it a Crispy Boy Pills, but on top of that, I think I had like a super low ABV. What was it? It was a darker beer, not like porter or anything like that, but like more like alt beery. And very, very low ABV. What was it? I'm super bummed. But the thing is, we went there with the intention of going there and then going to Conclave. And then I just open up my phone just to be like, well, how far away is it from Conclave and what is along the way? Just out of curiosity. And there's a brewery that opened not too long ago. It's called Drury. Yes, like Drury the brewery. And I've always wanted to stop there. And for some reason in my brain, I thought they were like out way further east in New Jersey. I didn't realize how far they were, like 18 minutes away from where we were in almost an exact straight line to Conclave. I was like, well, we got to go there. So we ended up going to the Drury. And here's the weird part about it. These new breweries kind of pop up. And, I know of Drury because social media. And like, I'm not saying everything they post, but what I've seen from them post on social media has been haze. Has been, super thick, turbid butternut squash haze. But I was like, it looked really good. Who knows? I know, people that I rotate around in this universe in the beer scene of New Jersey. I was like, okay, they dig this place. I want to stop there. End of sentence. I walk in. They have a Belgian triple. They have a cream ale coffee. They have two lagers. They have a porter, low ABV, like I expected to walk into a laundry list of 10% hazies. They had two hazies on their list, essentially. IPAs, and everything else is like, cream ale this, Belgian that. And I was like, it blew me away. I understand the logic behind that and that people are in the hazy, but I was like, this is my place. So went there, had a coffee cream ale with vanilla that was really, really good. Really light in the vanilla. The coffee was present, but it's still, the beer was there. So it was really nice. And then I had what they classified as the East Coast IPA, was just classic old school citrus leaning IPA. Really, really nice. The owner, head brewer, and I believe his partner in the business, they're super nice, like overtly nice. And we just chatted, sampled a bunch of different stuff there. They sampled a coconut, a Russian Imperial Stout. They had a bunch of stuff, but I ended up coming back with the growler of almost 9% haze because, I couldn't help myself. We sampled this there. And it was worth it. It has a gigantic dent in it because Ty dropped these. Because look at it, it's got dog hair on it. Ty, you need to not drop stuff. How about that, buddy? So he dropped the crap out of this. So that was that when it came to the jury. The whole kind of impetus of this trip was to end up hitting Conclave. They're in between canning runs and their crowler machine was acting up, so they didn't really have anything to go there. I had 3 beers there. They're epically fantastic. The one I had was one of their IPAs. I forget the name of it now, but it was probably one of the better lower ABV IPAs I've had in quite some time. But I didn't get any cake home from Conclave, which is infinitely bizarre. They didn't really, like I said, can't say it to Pilsner, which I've had before. It's fine. It's not my favorite Pilsner, but they didn't have anything outside of like they had their smoked smoked porter or whatever, which I've had a few times in bottles in the farmhouse sale, stuff like that. So I didn't end up coming home with anything from Conclave, which is really weird. I think Ty ended up going home with like maybe a triple IPA from them. And that was, for all intents and purposes, the end of our trip. Ty was like, awesome hanging. We had a good time. Good, good journeys heading home. And I couldn't help myself. I had to stop at one more brewery because they just opened like a week ago. Not like they opened recently. No, like 7 days ago they opened. That would be Eskerhart. Eskerhart Brewing. This is their Welcome to the Forest. It's a, let's see. It's a 12.5% Imperial Stout conditioned on toasted coconut and Madagascar vanilla beans. Brewed and bottled by Eskerhart Brewing Company, or Eskerhart Artisan Ale, sorry. Highbridge, New Jersey. I'm super pumped for Eskerhart. Like I said, they just opened a week ago, and I don't even know what you want me to say about the brewery. Bob is the owner, him and his wife Brielle are the owners, proprietors of Eskerhart. I met him originally as a taproom employee at Kane Brewing. He, has elevated beyond that, become a brewer, and he's been brewing for quite some time out of 12% Beer Projects. Some of you might be familiar with them. They're a kind of like I don't want to say a contract brewery. It's kind of like anti-contract. It's like brewers brew their beers there, but it's like a place that facilitates basically people to brew beer when they don't have a brewery, or if they have a very small brewery, brew enough beer to where it can go out into distribution. And that's how I really kind of met, more specifically kind of like talked to Bob. You've reviewed a couple beers on this channel, and it was great. And then there was a brewery in Highbridge called Highbridge Brewing, and they closed. I don't know what happened with the brewery. I think the beers were quite fine. I know they had an accident where someone slammed in front of the brewery. Yada yada. Long story longer. They decided to close the brewery, but it seemed like there was a agreement between Bob and his family and Brielle and all that stuff to kind of like take over the brewery after they closed. So it was like, the brewery announced they're closing. The next day, Escort said, "Hey, we're opening our physical location, Highbridge." Highbridge is 32 minutes away from where I live, which for some of you out there, more specifically, the European folk out there might be like, that's really far. 32 minutes is very, very short ride for me. My commute to work is 30 minutes. To go to any meaningful grocery store is 28 minutes. You know what I mean? So that's very close for me. So to have actually Escart open, I already enjoyed their beer, so I expected much of the same. I couldn't help myself but stop by. I literally had to drive past the place coming home from Conclave, and I'm glad I did. I stopped in. Super busy. Again, only open a week, but here's the thing. A lot of breweries are, open a week. The second week is very much a downturny kind of thing. It's like you get your huge grand opening in, well, usually soft opening. So if you count soft opening, it's been 2 weeks. So soft opening to grand opening. And then next week, people show up, but it's not nearly as crazy. It was hard to find your seat in there. I'm very happy for them that that's the case. Hopefully that's commonplace for the brewery moving forward, because I've really enjoyed his beers. And, if you orbit in that direction, basically, if you're close to the Trenton, Hackettstown, Stroudsburg, Lehigh Valley kind of universe, you're within spitting distance of the brewery. If you don't know where Highbridge is, it's if you're driving 78 from Pennsylvania across New Jersey, it's minutes off 78. And great brewery like that's so close. And I say that because even though they just opened, I've had his beers, and while he produces the hazies, he produces the imperial stouts with vanilla and all that stuff, pub ales and ESBs, like little itty bitty chuggers like that, is something that he does, which is near and dear to my heart. You all know that. So to have him not just open up, him and his wife Brielle, I keep saying him, it's more than just his effort, is awesome. And to see them busy is fantastic. And unbeknownst to me, Mike Bernardo, for those that don't know, he's a friend of the channel, sent beers to me, give beers to me. Actually, he's never mailed beers to me, I don't think. I think we've always handed them off in real life. He was at Beer Tube Palooza 2 or 3. He helped take pictures. I have this very nice picture of all of us up here that Mike took. We hadn't talked in quite some bit, actually, because, I'm busy. He's busy. He's getting married, wife, all that stuff. And I stopped in Highbridge. I took a picture, and he's like, dude, I just bought a house like 2 blocks away from Highbridge. I was like, no, you didn't, because he lived quite a bit away from me. So now Mike's close. We have a place to go. We're going to hang. We're going to rip some beers. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, it was a crazy day. I'm not going to lie to you. I missed things like today. I don't get to do this kind of thing to where I go to places and just talk. Talking to Ryan at Warwick, I think it was, I forget the gentleman's name from the jury, Neil Noel, the owner of the jury, talking to him, talking with Ty, talking with Joe, talking with George, and talking with, Bob and his wife, Escort, and just having these conversations, talking with passion, having fun. I just don't have that portion of my life anymore in a very positive way. It's, I want to spend all my time with my kid and stuff like that, but to cherry pick out a day like today and go out and about and not just pick up great beers, but get a beer mail and then have people just be good and have good conversations. It's a very fantastic thing. So there you go. A 30-minute unboxing, a 30-minute haul video. I actually don't think it's all that bad considering how much beer is sitting in front of me right now. But thank you very much, everybody, from Ty to Brian from Warwick, Joe, everybody. It was a cool day. It's nice to see that spirit of beer and funness still exist in today's world. And coming home with a billion different Things of beer doesn't suck either. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'm going to cut this off. We're pushing 10 o'clock. I want to watch either play some video games or watch some movies. Thank you very much for AP Tech stopping by, Rod J stopping by, everybody who's watching. Appreciative. Go check out these breweries, Warwick Brewing. Check out everybody. Eskerhart. That's the one you want to go. They're new. They've just opened, like I said, 7 days ago. Go to that brewery. Yeah, I had like I said, a little itty bitty kind of pub ale ESB thing. I had a hazy that was really good. Go check them out. Beautiful spot, beautiful little town. Check all these breweries out because they need you to come by. And that's good. It'll be good for you. I'm rambling now. So hopefully you enjoyed the unboxing. Hopefully you enjoy me reviewing probably half of these beers. They're not all going to get reviewed. And hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.